Welcome to our series, Navigating a Business Model, where we break down the big, complex parts of building a business into something you can really use. Today, we are tackling one of the most critical questions any founder will ever face. How do you figure out just how big your idea can get? We're talking about sizing your market opportunity. Okay, I want you to picture this. You're in the pitch of your life. You've just laid out your vision, your passion, everything. The room goes quiet, and then an investor leans in and hits you with the question. So, how big is the market? It feels like everything hangs on your answer. And let's be clear, this isn't just casual curiosity. This quote from Harvard Business Review says it all. VCs are basically hardwired to filter out small opportunities. They're not looking for a nice little business, they are hunting for giants. They need ideas that can play in $100 million markets because that's how their entire model works, which means they aren't really investing in who you are today. They're investing in who you could become. They're buying a ticket on your rocket ship, and you've got to convince them that it's heading for another galaxy. It's all about the potential. And to get why they think this way, just look at the sheer scale of the money involved. Back in the year 2000, VCs pumped over $106 billion into startups. When you're playing with that kind of cash, you're not making small bets. You are absolutely hunting for unicorns. So, how do you tell that story? How do you frame your vision so it not only answers the question, but actually gets them excited? Well, you have to learn to speak their language, and that is the language of market sizing. It all kicks off with the biggest number you can think of. The total addressable market, or TAM. Think of this as the entire universe of demand. If every single person who could possibly benefit from your product bought it, the TAM is what that would be worth. It's the absolute maximum size of your world. But let's be real. You're not going to reach the whole universe, especially not on day one. So we have to narrow it down to the served available market, or SAM. This is the slice of that universe you can actually get to with your current business model, your sales team, your geography. This is your real practical playing field. Now, to make these numbers sound like more than just wishful thinking, you need to attack them from two different angles. You've got the top-down analysis, which is that 30,000-foot view where you're slicing down a big market. And then you have the bottom-up analysis, which is the view from the ground, building up from a single customer. The magic, the credibility, it comes when you do both, and they point to roughly the same conclusion. All right, let's dig into the top-down approach first. This one is all about slicing up a bigger pie. Here's how you do it. You find a big, credible number from an industry report. Like, say, the global widget market is a whopping $10 billion. Great, but you're not selling to the whole globe. Maybe you only focus on the Americas. Boom, that's a smaller slice. And then you're not just selling any widget, you're in the specialty online market. That's an even smaller slice. See, you've just used logic to carve out a believable market for yourself. Okay, now let's flip the script. Let's look at the bottom-up approach. Here, instead of slicing a pie, you're basically building one from scratch. This is so powerful because it's rooted in the reality of your business. You start with simple, concrete questions. How much is one customer going to pay me? How many of those customers can I realistically get in my first year? You multiply those two numbers and you've got a starting point. Then you extrapolate from there. It's compelling because it's tied directly to your price and your ability to sell. But here comes the big reality check. And this quote says it perfectly. No matter how much work you put into your spreadsheet, your market size is not a fact. It's a hypothesis. It is your best, most educated guess. The second your business plan actually meets a real customer, it's going to change. Your real job is to see this number as a core assumption that you have to go out and test and test and test again. So let's tie this all together. What do you need to remember? First, know who you're talking to. Investors are looking for huge $100 million home runs. Second, make your story believable. Use both top-down and bottom-up methods to show your number is defensible. And third, and this is the most important one, remember that your market size is a leap of faith assumption. Your job is to prove it's true. Because at the end of the day, a strong market analysis isn't just about the math, it's about telling a powerful story about what's possible. So once you've shown that the pond you're swimming in is absolutely massive, there's always a follow-up question, right? can you prove you're the best fish in it? Proving you can actually win that market, well, that's a story for another explainer.